Hey, what's up guys? This is Andrew Smersik with Combat Air Training. Today we're going to be talking about not buying cheap charging handles. Okay, so this one right here, my buddy Chase gave it to me. I was teaching a class and I was mortaring the rifle and I broke one of my charging handles. Now, he was like, yeah, this is some cheap Chinese piece of crap. Now, I'm not sure who makes this one. I went on Amazon trying to see what charging handles they had for sale. They all look like this, but they were black. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's the same one, but they all look the same. And a lot of that stuff, like the Chinese made tourniquets and the flashlights with, you know, the bezel light goes in and out. If you go find, I think it was like madeinchina.com or something, you'll see that a lot of those products, they are just made in China. People just buy them in a large quantity and they put them on Amazon. Okay, and they rebrand them. But I don't even know where exactly he got this one, but the thing that happened with this one is the latch broke. Okay, the thing that happened with the charging handle I broke when I was mooring the rifle is it got bent. All right, so when we're thinking about what charging handle we should buy, number one, think about, is that a good company? Okay, like, does that company put out a good product, and what is their product intended for? So is it like lots of the stuff you'll find is like red anodized? Generally that just means it's trash right off the bat. Or they'll be trying to make it like a tactical one like this, but then it's at a low price point, because all the ones that look like this are 30 bucks. Now, if it looks like it should cost more and it costs, you know, very little, it's probably junk. Okay, this just seems to be the way it usually is. You know, flip up sights, red dot sights, different stuff like that. But anyway, so is that a good company? Number one. Number two, what is the price point? I would expect to spend more than 50 bucks on a ambidextrous charging handle, okay, from the ones I've seen that I like. The other thing is, what is it made of? Okay, like the charging handle I broke was from a Palmetto State Armory rifle that I had, and it was the one that came with the rifle, right? And I believe those are made from 6061 aluminum. You know, the ones you want to get are going to be 7075. All right, get those ones. They're going to be stronger. The frequent things I see is, like with that one, it bent, and this is another one, same type, and it's starting to get a slight bend. Not sure if you can see it or not, but basically when you're racking the gun, right, and for myself as a right-handed shooter, I grab it with my left hand on my index finger to rack the charging handle. It ends up bowing it that way. Okay, and that time when I was mortaring the rifle, I overbent the cartridge. This is why we do it on my guns, the rental guns, because I'm fine with breaking one of my guns. I don't want to break the Soon's gun. But ended up having to straight up kick it because it was stuck so bad, and that bent the charging handle. Now, other things I've seen, like this one's already starting to bend too. This is on another rental gun, and that's fine. We're just going to replace it. I'm probably just going to buy a couple nice ones and just test them all out, see which one I like the best, and do YouTube reviews on all of them. But things that break on these, you'll sometimes see fractures happening up here at the front of the charging handle. The bowing of the, I don't know, shaft of the charging handle, the long part, okay? Then these latches, they'll come out or they'll break. Like for instance, on this one, the latch broke. I don't know when, okay? It just did. Reason why, I think it has to do with them making this part out of steel, makes it more brittle. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that was probably why. But yeah, so the latches will break, or sometimes these pins will come out. I've had students before come to class and they're like, yeah, the gun shop, they said they built this, and then they said that this would be a good AR-15, and the whole gun was just giving them issues, but specifically they had a cheap ambidextrous charging handle, and one of the wings that you grip on the side just completely came off. They just fall apart, guys. So just don't cheap out on the charging handles. Now, the least expensive charging handle that you could get, which is still set up like the normal M16 charging handle, like this, nothing special, right? Just the regular one that like you would usually get with a gun. Aero Precision makes one that's made out of 7075 aluminum, and they're like 20 bucks. Okay, I have that on this rifle, and that's all I've used on this rifle, and it has been fine. Okay, and I rack the gun like this. When I reload, I don't hit the bolt release. We have another video on that, but I've used it quite a bit, and that charging handle has been fine. Is it the best? Nah. The other thing is that, you know, they put a lot of work when they put it at the more expensive, nicer charging handles into just the way the latch system works. Like this one is an Aero Precision. Let's see, was it the breacher? Yeah, breacher charging handle, right? So, for instance, with this one, you know, it's got the bigger wings, which I don't really need. It's ambidextrous, which even if you're a lefty, you don't really need the ambidextrous feature, because you can just grab 2 fingers and rack it as a lefty. But they built it up so that's gonna be stronger, that's gonna last longer, and so that like all the tension that happens on the charging handle, it just wears nicer. Okay, the charging handle isn't gonna wear out as fast. And this is a huge wear item on AR-15s. Think about like gas block, castle nut, and charging handles. Those are lots of usually the things that I see break on AR-15s the most. But here, we'll look at this Aero Precision one. You can just kind of see the way, get that in the camera, the way that opens, and just the design of it is trying to put all the force back on the center point, whereas you just don't have that with like a standard charging handle. Okay, and then this one is built out of 7075, and there's just more engineering that goes into it, and I think the you know, the materials and specifically the engineering that goes into a nicer charging handle is worth the money. Again, it's a huge wear item, so you want to have the nicest one possible, and you should still probably have a backup, and chances are your friend probably has one of the cheaper ones that's going to wear out over time or just straight up break on them. Okay, but as far as what brands you should go with, I'm trying out this Aero Precision one. I've never seen anything from Aero Precision I didn't like. I think they're pretty damn good, especially for the money. And this one was like 70 bucks or so, maybe 80 bucks. The breacher. Okay, there's also the Radian, or Radian, the company. It's the Raptor charging handles. I really like those. Even, I'm not sure, I wonder if anyone has taken one of the ones with the Palmer latches through a class. If you have, comment below. I want to know if that charging handle works for you. Also BCM put a lot of engineering into their charging handles, so I think those would be great to have. And those are ones I think of off the top of my head that I would want to get. You know, comment below if you have a nice charging handle that you took through a class that ran just fine, and I want to know what it was, what class you took with it. The other thing to consider too is that if you are putting a silencer on your gun, you want to look into something that's going to keep that gas from getting back in your face. So, or if you're planning on putting a silencer on your gun, you should consider that when you're buying your charging handle. But that's it, guys. Like I said, don't buy cheap charging handles. Okay, plan on spending more than $50. Plan on it being about $70 at least. But it is an important thing because that's the part that's going to wear out, and there's just too many spots on it that break, bend, and whatnot. So you want to spend good money on your charging handle. It would really suck if your charging handle broke on you during a fight. If you haven't taken your gun through a class where you shoot, if you haven't shot like 1,500 rounds through that rifle in actual training classes, you don't really know if that's going to work. Okay, that thing could just fall apart. Lots of times people buy rifles, take them to the range a few times, and that's it, right? But if you actually train with your rifle and then practice the things you learn after that, you're going to see what's going to wear out and what's going to last. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Keep fighting communism, and remember that training saves lives.